The Boys has quickly become one of the most watched and most popular shows in the entire world. Its super cool cast, amazing storyline, and great writing have made it so very famous. Plus, they keep us on our toes with new news about the next season. So in today's video, we'll be talking about how Seth Rogen feels about the 4th season and Jeffrey Dean Morgan's new character. Let's get into it. First off, the executive producer is shocked. In case you didn't know, Rogen is one of the show's executive producers, and he loves it just like we do. He's always ready to reassure all of the fans of the show when it comes to the quality of the upcoming season. He believes that the show is doing so well because it has been doing things that even Marvel and DC have never done before, like making the action as bloody as possible and turning the heroes into the bad guys. Filming for the upcoming 4th season of the show started around the same time that the 3rd season ended, and he recently said that it's very similar to the first 3 seasons in terms of how shocking and amazing it is. In a super exclusive interview, he told us that the next season makes the previous ones look super tame. Watching the show and the things happening behind the scenes have blown his mind, saying that the writers keep finding new ways to make him lose it. He hasn't said much else about the season because he wants us to experience it for ourselves. We can't say we were very surprised by his comments, especially since the series has made it clear that things would only get worse from here on out. The creators of supervillains like Homelander know no fear. Coming up, everyone loves these soups. Racking up a huge fan following on the back of villains isn't an easy thing to do, but the show has managed to do it. If you don't agree, we're sure its legions of fans will change your mind. Since Soldier Boy wasn't killed off at the end of the last season, he's likely going to be set free once again. So it's safe to say that things really will be a lot worse now, because he'll be super angry at the boys for breaking their deal. There is a plot for the supers to take over the world now that Homelander and Victoria Newman are working together to get political power. Fans can't wait to see how things work out. Even if they feel sorry for Homelander being alone at the top, the show has made it clear that something needs to be done to stop him. He's too powerful and too ruthless to be left unchecked. Our team of heroes tried to stop him by giving themselves temporary superpowers and saving Soldier Boy, but this may have made things worse. Of course, it did. If nothing else, we can be sure that everyone is waiting very patiently for the next season to come out. Now, let's look at Jeffrey Dean Morgan's badass role in the next season. Nathan Mitchell, or as fans know him, Black Noir, has left us in on a little secret. While he doesn't say anything on the show, the actor has told fans that Jeffrey Dean Morgan will play a pretty badass character in the next season. Well, we wouldn't expect anything less from him. The next season is currently being made, and the show is expected to air sometime in March. Gen 5, a spin-off show, is also being made and will start this year. Fans can't wait to find out what happens next. The actor was supposed to be a part of the 3rd season, but he couldn't because he had to work on The Walking Dead. Instead, it was announced that he'd be joining the cast for season 4 in an unspecified role. Mysterious. The team is pretty crafty. They've been keeping this new character tightly under wraps. Fans all around the world think that the best thing about the show is that it never stops surprising you by taking unexpected turns and introducing new characters and plots. We can't wait. Coming up, we might have a guess what the character would be. As soon as fans heard that their favorite father figure would be in season 4 of The Boys, they started making guesses about whom he would play. Most people's first thought was that he would play one of Vought's many corrupt soups, since he is known for playing bad guys like Negan on The Walking Dead and the comedian in Watchmen. Since Jensen Ackles, Megan's former co-star on Supernatural, joined the cast as Soldier Boy, it makes sense for the two to be reunited on equal footing, more or less. For many comic book readers, Morgan is like Tech Knight, the crime fighter with an out-of-control libido. The character is a shady billionaire who fights crime in a high-tech suit. It's like a cross between Batman and Iron Man. If his character takes on the identity of Tech Knight, he might join forces with the other comic book vigilantes to stop Homelander once and for all. Plus, he even portrayed Thomas Wayne in the original DCEU, so putting him in a role as a dark version of Batman would be the icing on top of a very bloody cake. The Supernatural star isn't the only new member of the Vought team. The show has already introduced 2 new superheroes, Firecracker and Sister Sage. Also, we know that Rob Benedict and Elliot Knight are joining the cast, and that will finally be introduced to Huey's mom too. Isn't that exciting? What's more, the actor is perfect for The Boys. When we see villains, we want to hate them with all of our hearts. Take Professor Umbridge from the Harry Potter series. It makes perfect sense to cast this amazing actor to play a villain once again. He's the kind of guy whose smile can make you feel both excited and scared at the same time. He looks like a villain or an anti-hero because of how rough, rugged, and handsome he is. In Watchmen, he played the mean and sarcastic comedian. In The Salvation, he played the murderous gang leader Henry Delarue. In Desierto, he played the crazy killer Sam. Unfortunately, he didn't start playing his most well-known bad guy until 2016. You know who we're talking about, Negan from The Walking Dead. Duh. He has killed almost all of our favorite characters without much effort, and we can't help but love Lucille. He went from being a gym teacher to becoming the leader of the Saviors. He was so awesome that he took over entire towns. So it isn't too much of a stretch to say that this seasoned bad guy wouldn't be a perfect fit into Kripke's new superhero world. Plus, it'll be so awesome to see him work with Jensen Ackles once again. In The Boys, superheroes were portrayed as selfish scum who didn't care about other people and spent their time fighting each other or dealing with their problems. Instead of being good examples for the rest of the world, he would fit right in. Following up, we have his chilling performance in The Watchmen. In the movie, most superheroes are either narcissistic and tortured humans or apathetic gods. In The Boys, on the other hand, the superheroes are deliberately bad, like bad to the bone. For example, one of the characters in Watchmen could have been taken right to the set of The Boys, and it would work pretty well. Eddie Blake, also known as the comedian, was a super bad guy who had a drinking problem and smoked cigars like there was no tomorrow. He's like a love child of the Punisher and Deadpool, but much darker. Despite his superhero name, he isn't naive enough to think he's a force of good in the world. He kills people at the government's request and gets to play a superhero on teams like the Minutemen and the Watchmen. As the super complicated character, our favorite bat-swinging killer did an awesome job. He was only in a few scenes, but his presence is felt throughout the movie and gives surprising insights into the character. He was a horrible dude who attacked a female superheroine, killed the woman who was carrying his child, and tried to kill President John F. Kennedy. A lot of what happens between the main characters in The Boys and what the comedian does in the plot of The Watchmen is the same. In the series, Butcher is a cynic, to put it mildly, just like the comedian. He thinks that superheroes are a government trick because of what Homelander and people like him have done. Not to mention, we love to hate him and can't wait to see him again. A good villain is one that your hero can beat, but has the worst time doing it. They shouldn't be so weak that they're easy to defeat, but they also shouldn't be so strong that you can't put a stop to them to save the world. Some of the greatest villains in cinematic history are the guys that you just loathe and have no redeeming quality, but at the same time, they're so cool and inspiring that in a deep dark corner of your heart, you're secretly rooting for them to win. Look at Moriarty. He is Sherlock Holmes' rival and worst enemy. He is a criminal genius on the same level as the great detective, which makes him such a fantastic character. Finally, he has what it takes. We believe that this supernatural villain would bring that to the table too. He has already made his way into our hearts by becoming The Walking Dead's most popular bad guy. Just a few swings of a baseball bat, a cool attitude, and some memorable lines, and we were putty in his hands. Plus, he's one of the most well-known actors on TV, and as it has taken him decades to build a solid reputation as a screen presence, we know that he works very hard. He's been in almost everything, from low-budget science fiction series to super expensive comic book movies. We can always count on him to bring his charisma and coolness to every project he's in, whether he's playing a bad guy or a hero who doesn't fit the mold. We can't wait to see what he brings to The Boys, and we're so sad that we still have to wait to see him do it. That's a wrap for this video. What character do you think Jeffrey Dean Morgan will play on The Boys? Let us know in the comments below. Make sure to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more videos like this. See you in the next one.